Not sure what the model is. MZ-R37. Unfortunately the batteries have leaked, so I'm going to take it apart and just see what bits there are in there that I'm interested in. I'm not really going to try and repair it. Don't really have much of a use for a mini disc player. So let's see what we've got in here. It must be the there we go. A bit of leaking AA batteries, 2018 dates. Dispose of those. There we go. So we've got some buttons which go to switches. Actually on the PCB there. There's a few flexi connectors. Actually doesn't look in too bad condition. Although there's battery debris all over the battery compartment. It's walking along the PCB as well. Don't think there's much salvageable from the PCB. Are they Sony components? No, so some of them might be salvageable. Part numbers on most of them. So yeah, there's a switch on the board there, some buttons which match up with these 4 buttons and that switch there. Let's just take more screws apart. How do we get that open? Screws there. Oh. Actually a mini disc in there. That's interesting, looks like the springs over here somewhere. What have we got there? Is that? That's a pressure point, so it's got a standard sort of DVD laser arrangement there. It's mounted on springs and electromagnets to actually move it up and down. See if we can take some more of this apart. Let me get the front off. Oh, the front just pulls off. It's quite plasticky, and there's this PCB there. Let's take that off. There we go. Oh, it's got an LCD, might be able to use that, possibly. A switch and some buttons for the front panel. Mitsumi. That looks to be, unless there's something under the LCD, that looks to be completely passive. So it might be usable for something. A lot of springs. Let's take the PCB out. Oh, okay, so they just curled the flexi over there. Not sure why, maybe to get the bend radius in. That's a different. There you go. Link wire there. Battery springs come with the board. And there we go. What have we got on there? Switches, connectors, quite a lot of connectors. Jack sockets, power connector, and then all the circuitry on that side. Looks like there might be a RAM chip there. There's a Motorola chip. I've still got the numbers on. Might be able to get something off that. What have we got here? So this is just very similar to a small DVD drive, which essentially is what it is. Let's just dismantle everything. There we go. So that's the frame of the machine. Nothing else on that really. There's a spring. Springs can be useful, so that might be a useful spring at some point in the future. Just get a spring out of it. A few screws. I keep those, they can be useful, as long as they're not damaged. Bits of metal like that, not really useful. Is it metal? It is metal. It's chromed as well. Probably because it's visible from the outside. I think that's about it for that. Actually the battery compartment looks okay there. Nothing much needed. Can't get anything much from the front panel. What have we got here? So we've got we've got a motor, two motors, one here. Why is there two? That's interesting. One motor there, driving whatever that is. Is that the eject mechanism? An eject mechanism? Yeah, I'm not sure why there's two motors. That's interesting. I'm not sure they're steppers, they might be. We can try that. So, yeah. Another spring there, but that's not really going to be useful because it's such a, get it out, it's such a strange shape. Maybe it is a spring, might be able to bend it into some other shape. Another spring there, so we've got 3 springs, a few screws. That's not going to be very useful. So it looks like this section here moves up and down on this rod here. So that might be useful. That's an X table. And then you've got the, oh, there you go. And you've got a small amount of Y and Z over there. I don't think we need this. I'm not sure what that's doing actually. There seems to be a head there which reads the other side of the mini disc. I don't know if the mini disc's got magnetic data on the back, does it? Not sure. Let's take this off so we can get the door off. Just it pulls off at the hinges, does it? Yeah. Don't think we need that back. Take that off. This might be a destructive one. Get that off. There we go. Don't know what that is. Is it a... Looks like a... No, it looks just like a switch actually. That may just be... Not sure what it is, we'll have a look at that. So we can get this hinge out. I think that should come off. There you go. There's the mechanism. That's the laser there. This moves that way. And this part, there you go. The laser is capable of moving up and down and slightly left and right. Driven by coils, which I can't see. Yes, I can. See the coils there. So, definitely permanent magnets in the motors. One there, and one hidden under there. So one definitely drives this backwards and forwards, so we've got an X table there if we want one. What does the other motor do? The other motor... Oh, okay, the other motor is a spindle motor here, which is geared. No, it isn't, that's a spindle motor there. What does this do? I have no idea what that motor was there for. It was there for something. Something that's now missing. That's true. Where is it? What is missing? Yeah, so we've got a spindle motor here, that can come out. Let's desolder it. And the screws there. There we go, little PCB. There's definitely a switch here, there's a connector there for the flexi, and these are interesting. These are PH, they could be photo diodes, photo LED, photo diode. That's an interesting little board. Have a look at that. Battery cover's junk. I still don't know what that motor's driving. Oh, this one's driving. Let's take the spindle motor out. That might be useful for something. To desolder that. It's a little tiny motor. Keep that. And the motor box. What is this? The flexi can come off, so that flexi goes to quite a lot of stuff there. All the motors, which we don't need, we just use wires. But so there's a set of gears there. Oh, here you go. It's moving that way and that way. So what's that? Is that the eject? Not sure what this is here, but that's been moved by the second motor. I think we'll wire a motor up and see whether it's a stepper or a DC motor. Let's take this off. Let's connect up one of the motors. Let's try turning that on and see. Oh, no movement there. Just try sliding it the other way. Yep. So that's definitely. You can see when I apply a little bit of voltage. It slides if I reverse it. It goes the other way. So that is a DC motor. It's not a two-phase stepper. Let's try the other one. I suspect that's the same. So that didn't take much in the way of voltage to operate at all. So they've got similar codes, 2279KB and KA, but they're probably assembly part numbers for this machine. They've actually got different part numbers. Let's just have a look. It'd be nice if it was a stepper, but doesn't matter too much, I suppose, if it isn't. Right, there we go. So if we move that into the centre, fire it up, let's see if we get movement or no movement. There you go. So that is again a DC motor. Which makes it a bit harder to drive because you need some sort of position feedback, but Haven't really got any of that, so it's quite a nice X drive, but you'd need to do something to actually control it. But I think that's worth keeping. Probably uses some sort of feedback from sensing tracks on the disc, rather than having a potentiometer or something like you get in the servo. Don't know what this is. I mean, that's I suppose in a way that's a y-axis. There's an X here and a Y there, but they're separated, so not massively useful. I think that must be the eject or something. But I don't know if you can see it, there is an X and Y here, so there's a bit of an X, a bit of a Y and a bit of a Z there, so you can control that over a very small distance. That does mean you wouldn't need the gross X here. That's about it. I don't think I'm going to take that apart any further, I'll just keep it as it is. What else have we got there? What is there? Oh, okay, so it looks like there's a laser actually here, because there's a prism there. So it looks like there's two lasers, maybe it's an erase and a read or something, so there's one here and one here. And that actually goes through some optics into that lens there. It's very fluffy. Oh, dust around the head. That's incredibly dusty. Hairs and all sorts there. So I think we'll salvage that, the motor, and maybe have a look at some of these PCBs, try and find out what they are. That's that one. The LCD might be salvageable. I might pop that open and see if there's any active components on there. Let's do that there. Do a zebra strip system. Let's just bend the tabs up and have a peek underneath. There we go. Do we have? So we got, yeah, so there's a chip of unknown designation there, so that will be the driver for the LCD, so some sort of data comes down. It talks to that, so that's not going to be very useful unless we reverse engineer the protocol. Who knows what that is. There we've got switch, so the switch sensors. Actually, if those switches don't go to the chip, it might be that it's just a simple serial interface. That would be nice. I suppose we could power it up and have a look and see what's going on. I haven't broken anything. I did damage the flexi to the, there we go, flexi to the heads. That was the only thing, or whatever that is. It might be a switch. Can't really tell. Not sure what that is. I think it detects whether there's a disc in place or not. Might be able to use the LCD, play some reverse engineering. Gets the LCD back in place. Got powering it up. Obviously got 3 volts here. Which one's plus and which one's minus? Good question. We do have a plus on the board and a minus on the board. So I suspect that's minus and that's plus. So let's desolder the battery springs. One, two, and solder the supply in. So there's minus over here. So at this point it's useful to get the case back out of the bin to find out where the on off button is. So if I put 3 volts on that, or something around 3 volts, will it power up or will it just complain that it hasn't had the on-off button pressed? It's taking a bit of power. Nothing's blown up. Let's find the on-off button. Let's get the case out of the bin. Front panel. Where's on-off? These buttons under here. Megabase, display, mode, T-mark. It's none of those. So where's the power on button? Maybe it hasn't got one. Volume. Maybe it's broken. Not coming on. Oh, there we go. So there is a switch called open, which means that the case is open, or maybe the door's open. Over here, so if I press that down, I get a beat from my power supply, which means I think more than an amp has been taken. And the display's now working. So we do stand a chance of reverse engineering the display. No disc. So that's interesting. Is that a dot matrix display? So it is. There's a dot matrix display bottom right. No, you can't see that. I'll push my finger on there. There you go. So it's spinning, and then after a while, no disc. But the no disc is on a, what is it? Many characters, but it's dot matrix, so that could be used for something else. Okay, so I might reverse engineer that at some point in the future. Should be fairly easy because there's not a lot of connections on the flexi. And I doubt that that is doing anything to do with detecting discs or anything else, so that will have traffic going over that connection. Actually, it's 2 open. There's an open there, and there's another one. Where's the switch for that? Another one there. That must be the. Oh, there we go. No, that's the other way around. That must be normally closed. So checking to see if there's a disc in there, and there's no disc. And no disc appears. There you go. And indeed, there is no disc. You are correct. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else does anything. Looks like. What happens if I try these? What are these switches on the back? Let's have a look at the case. That might do something. See if they do anything. Can I? There you go, it's on. I operate the switches with my finger. Where are they? Down there. Nothing. Oh, something happened there. Oh, it's moving through shuffle and repeat. Not with no disc on there though. Where are they? Missed them. There they are. Nothing going on with that. No, so they become unresponsive with no disc in there. But I would have thought we can reverse engineer that and find the no disc whizzing over those connections. We could at least drive that part of the display. Okay, something for the future. Desolder that and place that in a bag. What's quite nice is the connections on the board are they may even be 0.1 inch there, so if I took that flexi off I could just go and put a proper connector on there and that LCD would become fairly usable. That's quite nice. Got a few buttons on there as well, so it might be possible to use that as an LCD button PCB somewhere. A bit of reverse engineering.